Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is Saturday morning, so you know it's time for another live edition of the Extra Point. You're looking at the middle screen there. You see we have the hitmakers in the house, Mr. Michigan Mike, Michael Hasso, and Miss Clanger herself, Miss Tasha T. Sizzle. What's going on today, Hit Squad?
What's up? Another day, another dollar, you know.
Another day, another walk along the beach.
Now, let me just go ahead and decode that. You know, you got a good job when you say another day, another dollar, because that means you love going to work, which means you love getting paid the amount that you're getting paid. And walking along the beach, you only say that when you live there and not on vacation. So my peoples are living a good life right now. And good morning to each and every one of you. I'm not having such a great time right now, and we're going to lead off the show with that. But before we get into my despair, a word from our sponsor.
We are sponsored by May Jane's Coffee. That's MAEJANES coffee.com. You can get your Colombian, your Brazilian, and your Honduran blend coffee, freshly ground or not, by my lovely daughter, Sasha Denise. She is having her official launch. It is going to be an online event on May 14th. And on that day, guys, this is what she's rolling out. I don't even know if you can see this. It is the whiskey blend. So you can get a little yak in your coffee. Talk about your strong Kahlua. But anyway, as always, please continue to support my daughter as you have and purchase your coffee from May Jane's Coffee. That's MAEJANES coffee.com.
Right on. Make sure you check that out. Make sure you get your stuff together for all holidays and special occasions. We are very honored and proud to have May Jane's Coffee as our official sponsor. Now, that's the last proud moment that I got right now. I got to see y'all's faces because I need y'all's help again. As you can see, I'm trying to get some good mojo for my Tennessee Titans, but damn it, they embarrassing me at every turn. They're embarrassing every good person in the city of Nashville, Tennessee. And it's all because of him. Now let's go back to the tumultuous 2022 that is the Tennessee Titans, and that picture says it all. The first time we talked about the Titans this year, they were inexplicably kicked out of the playoffs after blowing home field advantage throughout the playoffs as the number one seed by losing to the Cincinnati Bengals, and it was that man's fault right there. Shouts out to Shamika Nicole checking in. Then last week, they make headlines again by trading away the most talented receiver that they've ever drafted in the history of their franchise, and one Mr. A.J. Brown, sending them to Michigan Mike's Philadelphia Eagles of all teams. Didn't even send them to Dallas. I will digress. If you want to hear that rant, make sure you check last week's show. But just as I'm getting over the A.J. Brown trade and trying to move on with this year's team, this sucker right here, this joker, as my Uncle Carl would call him, Ryan Tannehill gets us right back in the news for all the wrong reasons. If you've been sitting out Warrington, you hadn't caught a clip of what Ryan Tannehill said. He finally made his first public appearance since that said playoff game debacle and since A.J. Brown's trade. And he made a statement that landed him in the national news and in a pot of boiling hot water. When it comes to third-round rookie draft pick Malik Willis, quarterback, Ron Tannehill boldly proclaimed that it was not his job to mentor said rookie. Let's just start there. Michigan Mike, let me see your face. Michigan Mike, is that fair or foul that he's not going to mentor the rook?
That's foul for sure, in my opinion. I mean, it's all the things that we told everyone about Tannehill in the first place. He's not elite. He's not a leader. And this is proving it right here. Like, you as the captain, supposed to be, of this team, are not trying to help this team get better. And let's say in his mind, he didn't believe that. I don't care what you believe. You're about to be on media everywhere, especially these day and age. You can't be messy like that. You got to be like, oh, yeah, we've been talking about pointers and, I'm going to give them this and that. Just say that. But no, you got to be messy and say, no, that's not my job. Like, no.
Now, T Sizzle, Mike coming in hot, by the way. T Sizzle, your thoughts on that? Is that a fair or foul statement?
It's fair. That ain't his job. He ain't the coach. Why am I gonna groom you to take my job? I'm already skating on thin ice.
The thickest of ice, if you ask me.
With a hammer in my hand, tapping the glass as I walk. It's not his job. That's who's the Titans offensive coordinator and a quarterback's coach. That's their job. It's not his job to mentor. And like I sent you in that message, I would want to be mentored by him anyway. But
that is not fair. That is not fair, Tasha T. Sizzle. This man came in and saved the franchise 3 years ago. Remember the Titans under Marcus Mariota?
But with that being said, it is not his job to mentor. You see, hey, if you're a good quarterback, as much as I hate Lyron Rodgers, if you're a great or good quarterback, you don't need anybody to mentor you because Brett Favre didn't put him out any welcome match, and look what he turned into. Joe Flacco
he had a better career, huh?
Joe Flacco wasn't like, oh yeah, come on, old Lamar. Look what Lamar's doing. I mean, we know Joe Flacco is not. I mean, he's elite, I guess, because he won a Super Bowl. But we don't think of Joe Flacco as just being the top echelon of quarterbacks. It's not his job to mentor him.
Mike, your retort while I sip my May James coffee. This is pretty good.
I mean, I agree, but I don't agree by how he delivered that. Like, you don't say that in the media. They're already having team issues by giving away one of their star players, and then you're going to come say this.
Giving away too, because what we got back in return was not worth giving up a future All-Pro receiver. Keep going, Mike.
Yeah, go. Mike.
Yeah, so I just think he should have done it. Maybe kept it to himself. And maybe did a political move and said, I do have a lot of faith in our coaching staff. But yeah, if he has any questions, I'm here to answer them. Boom.
But let me take this quote from Robert Griffin III. And this is as I quote, "It is not in Ryan Tannehill's job description to mentor Malik Willis. But as the quarterback of the team, it is your job to lead everybody. Saying you won't help a young player adds unneeded tension to the locker room. Help the next guy and let your play decide who the future is."
Woo! RG3 coming in hot. But my question to RG3 is, did you mentor Kirk Cousins, who was drafted in the same draft as you as a fourth-round pick?
Kirk Cousins need more than mentoring. Like I said, he's a making it to the bank all-star. Franchise tag.
The Facebook user is coming in. RG3 has no room to talk. I don't mind hearing that from a Kurt Warner, but I'm not hearing that from no RG3 because he didn't want to be a backup to help the backup either. But
it is the truth. It is not his job. And what Mike was saying, now I'm not with that PC crap. I don't do all of that. But when he really did not have to say that. He should have just kept his mouth closed. He didn't have to say that. But RG3 is correct. It is not his job. But you, as the current leader of that team, you're supposed to lead by example, and you taking a bitch move. You bitching out of it.
Now, was Cousins better than RG3, Mike?
No.
And when RG3 just came out in his prime,
they were both rookies.
No, RG3 was good.
Okay, so let's peel back some more layers in this blooming onion here. Also, I think what was missed because of that statement that Ron Tannehill made was what was more alarming to me, more than the mentor talk, because I get it. He didn't show up to the OTAs before the draft because he didn't know if he was going to get traded. And Mike gave me all the proof I needed when he sent me an SI article that said the Titans were exploring trade options prior to moving up to take Willis in the third round. So if he's salty. If we know this, I'm sure he's like, well, I'm not showing up if I might get drafted. So he shows up. But what he said that was more alarming than the mentor deal was that he is still not over that loss, and more specifically his performance in that loss. We all know that he cost the team the game. He said he had to go to counseling, that he still loses sleep over it. Mike, it's almost June. It's time to get the new season started. Does that worry you to hear your leader, your signal caller, saying that he still hadn't gotten over an emotional loss that happened back in January?
Oh, for sure. I mean, in the quarterback position, mainly they say that you have to have a short-term memory loss, pretty much. Like you got to get over it ASAP. Right. And it's not even like a season long, like a month. Like they have to get over plays like per drive. Okay, well that one's out the door. Let's keep throwing those long passes, even though the first one didn't go. So for him to keep thinking about that, I don't feel confident in this quarterback, not only with his previous statement, but that he's still thinking about the last loss. Like, nope.
Is this a man that's completely lost his confidence, Tasha?
No. When your back is up against the wall and it's time for you to start tap dancing, you let anything come out of your mouth. You know you ain't no damn good. You ain't been going to counseling for being a sack of doo-doo. So why you
No, that sack of doo-doo is a bit rough. I got on Titans gear, Tasha.
I don't care. You should have been going to counsel. That's my thing. Everybody, when the heat is on them, when you in minister society, you know you done effed up. Like when it gets to that, everybody wants to say, well, this is what I'm doing. You should have been doing that. If this is your career, this is your money maker, you should have been doing that.
Was that a sympathy play, Mike? You see, Mike is going through his filter right now because mental health is such a hot button issue. But is that a play for sympathy from the crowd? Because this is the first time the crowd has really turned on Tannehill since he became the starter in 2019.
So I think if it was a different position, and let's say if it was a defensive player that missed that and he got burnt or something, you're like, man, I'm still thinking about that. It's all about how you word it. And I think he just loses. His communication skills are lacking, for the better word. So instead of saying like, yeah, I'm still trying to get over it, talk about what you are doing to get over it. So yeah, I got burnt. I'm still thinking about it every day, but it helps me through my workouts to get better. Boom. It's like, but he doesn't say that last part. He's talking about the problem. Like, and then he is the problem.
Right. Again, it's a whole other set of circumstances when you are the problem. Like if you go to marriage counseling because y'all are having communication issues is one thing. If you go to marriage counseling because you got caught cheating, that's a whole different deal when you know that the blame falls on you. Tasha, you about to chime in?
I mean, me dealing with someone who has mental issues. Of course, I'm very sympathetic to that. But where was all of this when you have been terrible? And now all of a sudden I'm going to counseling for this. That ain't no reason to go to counseling. It's more important, man. He already know he's toast, so he's trying to play that sympathy card. You can't pull that over my eyes. No.
Mike, you've been in a locker room, and high school football in Texas is just about the closest thing you can get to semi-pro football that you got to live here to understand. If as a teammate, let's say you're on the other side of the ball, you already got a shaky feeling about how the season ended after you put up 9 sacks. If you're Jeffrey Simmons, if you're anybody else on the defense, how are you thinking about him? Are you rooting for Malik to take his job this year, or do you want Tannehill to get it together?
I'm rooting for some type of change. I would, of course, try to see if Tannehill. I would still stick with Tannehill because that's my quarterback, right? And he has taken us further than previous quarterback. So I'm rooting for him, but then it's like still like you want to coach the young one and be like, hey man, just your time's coming, just be ready, but I'm gonna still do what I do. Like defense is gonna do what they do. Right. And they're not gonna like take a day off or anything, but yeah, I would still go for Tannehill and then just let the rookie know.
Tasha, last week we kind of just did a mock Titans record prediction after the AJ Brown trade. Do you want to amend that record after hearing how Tannehill is entering this season? You think it could be even worse than y'all originally predicted?
What he's gonna be this year is coleslaw sins mayonnaise.
I'm sorry. Is that one of those? is that what gave you food poisoning? See, that's the problem. You need to right. I'm like, that ain't in my mama recipe book. Some what?
He basically gonna be cabbage. He's slaw. He ain't got no mayo.
That's messed up. Mike, how many wins did you say last week, Mike? Like 8 or 9?
I think we both said 8 or 9. Yeah. Yes. I'm gonna go 6 or 7 now. Wow. Yeah, I can see a 7 and 10. Like that's easy, and that's being nice. I think in my heart, nice, I'm thinking Mike. 6.
I thought we were brothers.
6 wins.
That's not being nice.
6 wins.
See, adding that extra game, you ain't nobody going 50-50 no more. It's either winning season or a losing season.
Okay, now Now, this is interesting. He says Willis will be starting by week 9. Give me a week that Willis will be starting by.
I need to see that schedule first before I make that.
Which we will have our schedule party next week. I believe it comes out on Thursday. So make sure y'all stay tuned for that next week. Mike,
I think week 9 is long time. I don't see Tannehill starting that long. Yeah, I'm gonna say 4 or 5.
Wow, Mike.
Yeah.
Now, the only reason why I'm not totally dismissing that is because of what you sent me, that the Titans were looking to trade anyway. So he really is on the thinnest of ice with a fat suit on, or a plus size suit.
And a hammer, tapping at that ice as he walks. Tap, tap, tap.
It's almost like on the Dark Knight movie where they had to walk across that frozen lake. Just in the exile. That's what Tannehill is doing now. You can only imagine in the preseason when Malik Willis throws his first touchdown or runs for 35 or 40 yards on a scramble, what the crowd is going to be clamoring for, because we're going to see a lot more of Willis in the preseason than we will of Tannehill. I am very concerned about this development, not so much that he won't help Willis become a better pro, but because you still worried about your ex. You're on a brand new job interview talking about how your last boss did you wrong. Those are red flags in the real world.
Because nobody brings up Auburn but us. Malik Willis doesn't bring up Auburn. He talks about Liberty. We bring up Auburn. He ain't thinking about Auburn.
Right. I'm rooting for the kid to get it done. I think that week 9, by that time, the season is probably over. If we're switching quarterbacks that late in the season, I do think that John Robinson and Mike Vrabel, if there's any semblance of hope of saving the season, they will probably pull him before that. I agree with Mike on that. But I'm hoping that Tannehill finds his inner Marvel man and comes back and gets that damn Infinity Stone off the glove. Like, I'm holding out hope. We still got Derrick Henry. We got Hassan Haskins as a 4th-round pick as a rookie, go blue. Just run the ball and keep the ball out of his hands and play good defense. But I am very, very, very concerned about that. Sticking with quarterbacks, which will be our theme for the bulk of this show. The draft is come and gone, and still no movement on Baker Mayfield. Wow. Insert laugh. Wow, that is come on, still no movement on one Baker Mayfield. Now, Mike, let me come to you first before I give y'all my opinion on this. What's next for Baker Mayfield? Because one of the places that he said on his podcast that he was on when his dog was laying on the couch sleep, he said that he wouldn't mind going to Seattle because of Seattle's quarterback issues right now. And that seemed to have made sense. But Pete Carroll came out 2 days ago and said they're not looking to trade for no quarterback. They're going to roll with what they got. I don't think they want to be good enough to be out of the sweepstakes for C.J. Stroud or the kid from Alabama next year. That's just what I think they might tank this year. What's left for Baker Mayfield? Where does he go now? What does he do now?
The CFL.
The what?
No, so I mean,
my God.
For him to stay in the NFL, he's gonna have to take like a walk-on deal in the NFL, which is pretty much just chump change just to be on an NFL roster as a second, third round, or third pick, or sorry, a third string quarterback. But if he wants to actually still be,
you didn't even say second string. You said third string, right?
Second or third. I mean, it doesn't seem like anyone is looking to have him on their roster. So he's definitely going to be at least a second string. But if he's wanting to still be in the limelight and, make them plays and still be somewhat talked about, then he's going to have to go to the CFL. People are still going to be on ESPN showing CFL clips of like, here's his first touchdown in the CFL. If he goes on the if he stays in the NFL, no one's going to be talking about him anymore.
You're progressive. Are you going to pay this man millions of dollars to talk about the CFL? Has his star fallen that far?
Yeah, that's where we're at right now.
Austin, you've been laughing ever since I said the name Baker Mayfield. What's so damn funny?
You know what? I don't know if you remember this song. Don't want none of that. Don't give me none of that weed. Don't need no crack. That's basically what they saying about Baker. This is the thing. I remember on the show, but on all these sports talk shows and everything I read, how when what's the guy from Carolina when they were like, oh, Baker to Carolina, he was like, no.
Oh yeah, Robbie Anderson.
And they keep saying, well, you don't hear anybody from the Cleveland Browns, the teammates, saying a bad word about him. You don't hear this. You don't hear. Something is going on as to why no one wants Baker. It's something is out there that we don't know, because Baker, like when we went down the roster of those quarterbacks, Baker is a better quarterback than most of the people who are starting now, but it is something about him that people are shying away from.
Hold on, my brother's chiming in, being absolutely messy this morning. Baker needs to go to the WWE.
Bye, Damon.
But D, don't be like that. Now, see, I have a perfect spot for Baker Mayfield to go to that's going to be a win-win-win for everybody. I just wanted to see if anybody was going to say it. But Baker, there's no need to go to the WWE. We got a WWE right here in the great state of Texas. Right here on up the street, the stars right up the tollway, the Frisco compound. Come on to the Dallas Cowboys. Let me explain. This will be a perfect marriage between Baker Mayfield and Jerry Jones. One, if you're Jerry Jones, it keeps you in the headlines all season because everybody is going to talk to you about that. Mike, is that a group mug? Mike, you're making all the headlines for all the wrong reasons.
It's the Thanos gauntlet.
As we digress, Jerry Jones gets to go in front of that podium and he gets to talk about giving him another chance. If you're Baker, you're in the biggest football market there is in the world. You get to sit behind. Look at these Dallas Cowboy backups. You got Cooper Rush and Ben DiNucci. You can beat out Cooper Rush.
So you want him to go to Dallas so he can end up on Harry Hines with old Jerry?
Don't do that. Don't do that to Jerry. We digress. For people who don't understand what Harry Hines is, if you live in Nashville, it's Dickinson Road. All right, he was going to see one of the little purse women. The man is grown.
My question is, how come Tasha don't live here? So she knows about Harry Hines from someone.
Right. Wait a minute. Hold on. That's a good point. You don't even live in this country. Who taught you about Harry Hines?
I know a little something. I got my feelers out there.
Let's see your purse. Go grab your purse right now. Is it a coin purse? We got our answer. Okay. As we digress, look, if you're Baker Mayfield, you get to play behind Dak, who's not going to miss many games. If you do somehow have to play for an injured Dak, you got pretty much the same type of weaponry that you had in Cleveland. You got two running backs, you got two capable receivers, a decent offensive line, and a good defense. So you'll be in a position to succeed, unlike if you went to go to Seattle or if you went to go to Houston or Detroit or another bottom feeder. And you could just kind of just lay low, collect your money. But here's the kicker, though, Mike and Tasha. Would you take Baker Mayfield with the $19 million price tag that's already guaranteed to him for Cleveland picking up his fifth-year option? Wow, Mike. For those that are on podcast, Mike is giving us the black lip, y'all. Perfectly executed.
Oh, my God. No. No way in hell.
Mike, say it again, Mike.
Say it one more time,
No
Mike.
way in hell. I would. That's not even I would. Nope. He came up there with his little paper offer, and I opened it up, and I'm like, oh, like get on out of my office. I'm only serious people in here.
Congestion with it, huh, Tasha?
Yeah, no.
You know how they, Mike. You know how they take it and they slide that thing.
Yeah.
They look at it, slide it right back to you.
$19 million, Tasha. Any takers? If you're Cleveland, you're gonna have to come off that $19 million. You're gonna have to pay that man to leave. You can't keep him in the locker room this year, can you? Can you? Because Deshaun Watson's going to miss half the season.
That's what I was just getting ready to say. They can do it, Deshaun Watson. Houston's dumbass has paid that boy all that money for him to go overseas, travel, start around the country with his girlfriend. So Cleveland make because if
Get his
nobody
toes popped on the little massage table and all that good stuff. I'm just saying. I said toes. Mike, what would be a bargain?
See, had that been me saying that, it would have been an issue. It would have been moving right along.
No, because you wouldn't have said toes, and we know that. Mike, what would be the price tag? Would you give up a 5th or a 6th round pick if they eat the money?
No, I am not sold on him at all. I think the main thing, and Tasha was saying it earlier, is just like his persona or his locker room antics. No one likes him because he's too cocky. I think one of the commenters said it, or the viewer said it. And I think it's something in like how he is or was at OU as well. Because Rattler, I mean, who looks up to Baker Mayfield, is doing the same thing. Like nobody likes him now. Like it's something that's just too. He's not humbled. Nobody wants to play with him. Everyone's like, "Dude, you're trash." He's like, "I'm not trash. You're trash." Okay, well, see you later.
Right. So you think that he's burned too many bridges with his attitude?
Right. Yeah. Nobody wants him.
Like he's taking that walk-on attitude too far. Like, dude, you done made it. Calm down now.
Right. I think that wow. The more that y'all are talking me through this, the more I'm like, damn, nobody's going to pay $19 million for him. Not now, not after the draft. A quarterback went last. The last pick is Mr. Irrelevant. They didn't even take a fire on Baker then.
So the 49ers.
Yeah. They took Brock Purdy. They don't even want him. Come on to Dallas. Jerry will go ahead and sit you behind Dak. You're going to learn behind the MVP. Yes, I said it. Dak Prescott will be the 2022-23 league MVP. He's going to put up amazing numbers. You can hide in plain sight. You can still do your commercials because you're a cowboy, and you can watch how a professional runs a professional franchise behind Dak, get you a Super Bowl title, and then walk on off in the sunset.
So for Jerry Jones, for him to do that, I would say $1 to $5 million, and not even for playing, just because of his name. And OU has a lot of people here in Dallas area. So, like, you can sell those jerseys easily. You can do those commercials easily.
He's gonna need it for that payout to that side piece child.
Yeah.
You and this Jerry slander is
I didn't make this up. This is in the media. I didn't.
The man did the pop and lock on a Domino's commercial. We're not having the slander. We're not having no Jerry slander right here on the Extra Point.
His no, I was gonna say Baker's Hulu commercials are pretty funny though.
Yeah, it's gonna be voodoo commercials because he's gonna disappear in the thin air if don't let him move here soon. And at $19 million, Cleveland, y'all have a serious problem. Now,
no, they got it. They out here paying $250 million to folks. They got it.
Well, they're gonna have to spend it because nobody's gonna take Baker Mayfield on for that type of money. But Jerry got the money. Just go ahead and get rid of Cooper Rush. Get rid of Ben DiNucci. You have a solid veteran quarterback behind you, behind Dak. That way, it's some good insurance to get you through a couple of games. I say come to Dallas. But there's another quarterback that we all know and love, especially one Tasha T. Sizzle. Made headlines yesterday. I can't wait to talk about this one. Now, one Justin Bieber went on TikTok and started a challenge called the Tell Your Truth.
Oh, yeah, I saw that one.
Mm-hmm.
So, Thomas Edward Brady decides to play along. That he's going to tell his truth. And what truth was that? That
was a fumble.
He technically covered himself because he said it might have been a fumble.
No, we're not doing semantics. He said that it was a fumble, and he whispered it into our collective ears right there on social media. Tasha T. Sizzle, have you been vindicated today with the announcement that Tom Brady said it was finally a fumble?
No, let me take these glasses off.
Uh-oh, yeah, let's see your face. Hold on.
It ain't no vindication.
Right, man.
Because you had the illustrious, the GOAT, Jerry Rice, and one Mr. Heisman, put the
Rich Gannon,
Charles Woodson, who was supposed to go to that Super Bowl that year with the Raiders. But he cheated. He knew good and damn well he fumbled that ball. Again, I can tell you the whole story. During the review, they all came out there clearing off the snow. So
You
Ben
said it was
Terry
a dark
get
and
up
jury
there.
night.
It was clear, so he could make that game-winning field goal and send them freaking losers to.
How did he cheat if the rules said what they
Because
said?
he knew it. Because when he did,
That's a fair question,
they
Tasha.
always had that stupid look on their face when they like, no, it wasn't a play.
Objection, hearsay.
He's in the ref's ear. He's in the ref's ear. They all over there champion. It wasn't a fumble. It wasn't a fumble. Yes, it was. Now I ain't blaming Brady because I done did some stuff and been like, But
it wasn't me.
when you take, y'all know I'm real sensitive about one Mr. Jerry Lee Rice, the GOAT. That pissed me off because I was ready for him and Charles run it back.
Shoot, I'll take Randy Moss over Jerry Rice.
Whoa! Tell your truth, Mike. Tell your truth.
I said I'm gonna take Randy Moss over Jerry Rice. So
hey, he said it with his chest. Mike, open up your jacket. You said that with your chest.
Paul, what did we discuss behind the scenes about these receivers?
Wanting to be Jerry Rice, but won't run that hill.
They don't want to run that hill in a 12-game season. Jerry Rice had
why don't you get her started?
Had over 1,000 yards.
That's what I do.
22 freaking touchdowns in 12 games. That's greatness. Now, don't get me wrong. Baby, Moss was cold. And it was a few times I wanted to be like, do I need to get me a Moss jersey? Y'all know I don't even wear jerseys. I wanted a Randy Moss jersey because Randy Moss was just like, I'm open, throw it to me, I'm here. He can't touch Jerry Rice. He can't do it.
Okay, answer this, Mike. The people
because I like
know. The people want to know why Moss over Jerry Rice. Because
I like to poke. No, I mean I like more physicality. So like I like the receivers that are like the AJ Brown. We got Megatron. Randy Moss. He wasn't necessarily like the strongest,
but he didn't need
what a TV career.
I like that he was. You could count on him, and I'm not counting his Patriots career because he had a lot of drops during that season.
But didn't he break a record for like touchdowns that year in 08?
Yeah, he had a lot of drops that in his Viking career he wouldn't have dropped.
But the thing is, Moss, when we talk, I kind of alluded to this last week. Moss changed the game. He said, I'm not going to get in here and take these hits. I'm finna prolong this career as long as I can. So that's why he never ran a route. Jerry Rice is the most precise route runner in the NFL history in the game of football. He is the most precise route runner.
Mike is about to bring Gen X to the front of the stage.
Moss didn't have to do that because of his innate ability, his height, his reach, his length. You didn't have to do all of that. All he had to do was basically run
until he went against Deion Sanders or somebody. So.
I mean, but you see who didn't stop Jerry Rice. It sure wasn't Deion Sanders because he was unstoppable.
Hey, Jerry Rice is one of the greatest players of all time, regardless of position. Mike, you about to get me shot up here with you? Like
he ain't no goat though. He ain't the goat. He ain't the GOAT. No. Absolutely not.
But hold on, Damien, he said he's not the GOAT.
If he was playing in today's game and the visibility with the way he was playing, because wide receivers are the most divish. I don't care even if it's a quarterback. Wide receivers are the divas, and we all know this.
That's true.
But the way he played and his persona, Jerry Rice would have blew up in today's game. And his work
blew up in his era.
I mean, he blew up in his era with.
I want to see him with a bad quarterback.
Oh, wait a minute! No.
So you saying he's Phil Jackson? So you just call him Phil Jackson?
Mike, go ahead and pull up his first season with the Raiders. I'll wait.
I mean, Rich Gannon had one of the MVP careers.
Pull it up
during that
MVP season because Damien had Rich Gannon on his fantasy team that year, and he went undefeated in our league.
Look at all the quarterbacks Jerry Rice had. He still put up numbers. Pull it up.
Yeah, because those quarterbacks were elite.
No, all of his quarterbacks were not
Steve Young.
You can take away Steve Young.
You see what you did, Mike? You got us completely off the
and
rails.
you can take away Gannon. You still put them numbers up. Pull it up.
Now, if you would have said one Michael 8-ball 8-8 Irvin, I would have been with you on that.
But Michael Irvin, like I said, Michael Irvin was underrated. A lot of that had to do with his own off the field issues. Michael Irvin is way underrated because Michael Irvin would go through the middle, take that hit, take that, and still come out on the other side. But that was probably because it was numb from that. But still,
I forgot what he's talking about. This is good.
Yeah.
Mike, you done got us. I was the biggest.
We can talk about this for hours.
And Jerry Rice used to give us that work.
We always battle because Jerry used
to give us that work.
And Jerry gave everybody that work.
Everybody. That's a tough one, Mike. That's a tough one. I don't even know how to get out of that, but let's transition into some NBA action, shall we? The second round of the playoffs is starting to heat up. We had 2 season-saving victories last night in the National Basketball Association. Let's start in the Eastern Conference. The Philadelphia 76ers, they have now notched their first win of the series against the Miami Heat. Joel Embiid makes his triumphant return, played 36 minutes last night, was a beast on defense. It's now 2-1 against Miami. He totally just neutralized Bam Adebayo, who had his way with Philly in the first 2 games. Tasha, I'm going to start with you. Is this just a blip on the radar, or can Embiid really lead this team back to a win in the series?
The thing is, Embiid is not going to be able to do that.
MVP beat.
Yeah, he's not going to be able to do that all by himself. Because even though he came back, his face was still a little swollen. He had that mask on. And we all know James Harden is not going to be any help simply because James Harden is not physically in physical condition to be able to carry the rest of this load.
That's true.
I mean, it's I just don't see it happen. I think this was a fluke win. But I mean, I didn't think that they were going to get swept. I think I said 5. Did I say 6 or 5? I can't remember. But I know I said 5 because Embiid was injured. That's what I said. I mean, kudos for him coming up and playing last night and going out there and giving it the old college try. But I don't see them prolonging or doing anything more as long as he's injured and with no help.
Mike, are the Miami Heat a legitimate number 1 seed type championship type team to you? For some reason, they just don't seem to move me like that. What are your thoughts on that?
I would say yes. I think the reason why, because I feel the same way, and I was like, wait, why aren't they? It's because their number 1 game or the gameplay is defense. Like they will stick it to you and they will make you mess up, and then they will, they're not necessarily like a Warriors type team that's just going to shoot it from the half court. Like that's not what they do. They kind of remind me of kind of like Portland Trailblazers back in 2011. They weren't shooting crazy. I mean, they had a good shooter, but they were physical. They were a physical team. And so this kind of reminds me of how the Eastern Conference was built in my mind is like defensive. And yeah, I would definitely put them. I love their defensive play. I think it was just 1 game, but they'll end up winning this series.
Can Jimmy Butler be the best player on the championship team, Tasha?
He could, but I like Jimmy better when he was with the Bulls because he seemed a little bit more humble and he seemed a little bit more hungrier. Now to me, it seems like Butler's just like, yeah, I'm the ish and we finna do this. And I don't care. It's just the attitude.
Well, wait a minute. He was on a plane on drinking a beer talking about, I only want to be with you. That didn't move you? You don't like Hootie and the Blowfish?
There's nothing I can do.
I love that song. I'm sorry. I grew up in the gangster rap era, but I love that song. So to see a thug like Jimmy Butler singing it, that kind of moved me.
I mean, but Jimmy's not necessarily a thug. He was born into bad circumstances, but wasn't he raised in the Woodlands by a nice family? He ain't from the hood now.
What are you saying? Is this that movie about the Memphis kid that was raised by the suburb family? Let's digress. Debbie says that Miami missed shots they normally make. Philly won't win another game. But D, My question to you and my question to everybody else listening is that because Embiid was back anchoring the defense? Because they
Well,
looked unstoppable in 1 and 2 with no Embiid in the paint. Adebayo was just killing it, looking like the first team All Pro.
I
Now
mean, I
he
think
was.
they had to make adjustments because Embiid came back. They did have to make adjustments, and I agree with Damien. Like that can throw your game off. But back to my point with Jimmy Butler, when he was on the Bulls, he seemed hungrier. Now it's almost like he feels like he's supposed to just have it just because they're a number one seed and he's Jimmy Butler. He feels like you're not on that star status, dude. You were on your way there. And then you go to Philly. I was rooting for him when he was in Philly,
I was
and
too.
I wanted Philly to do things when he was in Philly, but this would, like Mike said, I'm not seeing them as a number one. Like when you think of a number one seed, you think about somebody that's going to go in and dominate. You don't have any questions about whether or not they're going to win a game. And I don't feel like that. I mean, Miami. I said they would win it simply because Embiid was out, but if they were at full strength, I don't see Miami going any further. I don't see them going to anybody's finals either.
I don't either. And I'm about to be a hypocrite. Mike with another black lip. We're going to find out why in just a second. But I'm going to be a hypocrite right now because they remind me a lot of when Tennessee had the number one seed in last year's playoffs. And people were looking like, okay, well, yeah, but I ain't scared to go up there and play them. You know, it was like nobody really still saw them as, okay, they're just the outright dominant Super Bowl team. People were still saying Green Bay. They were saying San Fran. They were saying the Rams. You know, they were saying Kansas City. Nobody was really Buffalo. Nobody was really giving the Titans that kind of love, and Ryan Tannehill showed them why they shouldn't feel that way. Mike, what were you skeptical about? What was the lip for?
The whole number one seed, because I mean, we can talk about the Western. I mean, here in a little bit, but I see weaknesses from both number one seeds from East and West. So I think that these series are. I mean, this is the NBA playoffs that in a while that everyone has a good matchup and I think a good shot to win. So I'm liking this playoffs. I think it's no NFL, but it'll get us there.
Right. Okay. So great transition by you because let's go to the second game of the doubleheader last night. The Dallas Mavericks down 0-2. They come home. They shoot the lights out. Phoenix has their worst shooting performance of the playoffs. Chris Paul on his 37th birthday had a career high 7 turnovers in the first half. They look very pedestrian. Dallas, that crowd was rocking. Jalen Brunson led the team in scoring. Now, if a person not named Luka Doncic leads the team in scoring in a playoff game, you might be getting your ass whooped. That doesn't bode well if he played the whole game and didn't lead the team in scoring. My question to you, we'll start with you, Mike, and then we'll get your thoughts on it, Tasha. As a Mavs fan, you gonna open up you show your Mavericks for the YouTube faithful. All right, hey, that's the legend right there, one Dirk Nowitzki. So my question to you is, Mike, can Jalen Brunson be a legit number 2, like to take this thing to 6-7 games or even beat Phoenix? Or do you think that was just a blip on the radar?
I think we will need him to be an elite number 2, or else we can't get past Phoenix. And
right
I think the other thing that helped us was the first 2 games we averaged like 13 turnovers as a whole, and then this third game, we had like 6 turnovers. So I think that's the key. Yeah, Luka himself had 5, and he averages about 5 per game. I think that's crazy high. I think he needs to get it together. But in key moments when he needs to, take his own rebound and take it back up for a layup, like he's there, and that's what the Mavs need. If he's not that physical, then our whole team is just going to shut down. And I think that we have this. I think this is the type of team that can beat Phoenix because you get a CP3 that just cries in the corner and starts kneeing people in the groin. And you can kind of see Booker try to do the same type of stuff or whining. I think, man, come on now. You ain't no number 1 seed acting like that.
T-Sizzle, you've made a number of faces during Mike's soliloquy about his team. The floor is yours. I'm going to drink my coffee. You two are on point today.
First of all,
some
of you guys, you guys root for your teams.
Don't do that. Don't do that. You're a fan too.
And you never see the fault in them. Like everybody, like when the 49ers won, I had so many people lost. I had so many people inboxing me, talking about y'all sitting at home with the couch, with us on the couch. The whole point is, when I know my team is not going to win or my team is terrible, I say it. If we happen to,
terrible just now.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. No. My Avs are far from terrible. I say that my team is horrible. If we happen to win, I'm happy. Mike, I love you, Mike, but you're delusional. Because Luka, as much as I love Luka reminds me of the Houston James Harden.
You remind me of a girl that I once knew. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Because like you were saying, they don't necessarily have a number two. What is Luka forced to do? All the scoring. Luka does not play any defense.
What? He stole the ball, took it back up. What are you talking about?
Mike, now it's time for us to sit in a circle like on intervention. Mike, I saw game 2 where they picked him out in the pick and roll 15 straight times in the fourth quarter and scored every time. You're not concerned about Luka's defense, Mike?
I'm more concerned about his turnovers. I hate his turnovers. I think that's the biggest thing that I'm concerned about.
He's locking them down like Gary Payton Sr.
But again, just like with LeBron, they are forced to do things that they are forced to do things to try to make their teams win when it's not what they need to be doing. Like when LeBron was out here scoring 80 points a game just so the team can win. Luka's out here scoring these points.
Oh, gosh.
Luka's out here scoring these points, not playing defense because he has to make up for the whole team. You can't do that. And then first of all, Chris Paul, even though he does walk around here as like a child hitting people in the groin area.
That is very 8th grade.
Chris Paul is the best point guard playing right now.
That's
just my opinion.
That's just my opinion.
Dude is trash. Straight doo-doo.
I'm going to hit the Brady real quick. Wait a minute. What about the dreadhead down there in Orange Mound? Hold on.
Wait a minute. I'm going to get to that too. Chris Paul allows Devin Booker to do what Devin Booker does, which is score. That's what Chris Paul allows Devin Booker to do. Then y'all ain't even mentioned the fact Ayton went 1, Luka went 3rd in the 2018 draft. Can you imagine? Remember when everybody was saying who should draft who at that time? And everybody was
That was a bigger heist than Boston getting Jason Tatum at 3rd over Markelle Fultz at 1. That was even a bigger heist because
but everybody was saying Phoenix should have taken Luka, but I could not see
everything.
It changed everything, and I don't think either team would have been as successful had they had those players. Now let me get to
Dallas.
Now let's get to our boy down in the stomping ground. That is Orange Mound, One Town, MEMPHIS, One Town, making even money, pimping hoes and stuff.
You're from Nashville, Tasha.
Ja cannot continue to play the game that way over. Now we love to watch it now because I'm telling you, as tired as I was, my neck was propped like this because I was like, I gotta watch Ja. Over time, he's going to have to add another dimension to his game, just like Luka's going to have to start doing something else.
No, he will. Instead of dunking over one person, he's going to dunk over 2 people.
No, but it happens when, like, look at what's his name, Westbrook.
Like era.
You remember how Westbrook would play just like that too in the beginning, but now when your body starts to get older, you get injuries. You can't perform like that. Look at KD. KD is a shell of himself. You think about those 2.
Mike ended KD's career last week. That's why Mike's sitting back and looking on smug.
After
Mike
that,
ended his career last week.
But when you have injuries, when you play, your body and then he's thin. When you play time after time that hard, your body starts to pay for it. LeBron changed his game. Jordan changed his game.
Didn't nobody ask you, D?
Jordan changed his
You're
game.
right, D, but didn't nobody ask that.
Vince Carter changed his game. Vince Carter couldn't keep out there dunking over 7-foot Frenchmen. They had to change their game. Now, I'm not telling Ja to change his game, but Ja needs to add something extra to it to prolong his career.
It's gonna be a chip. It's gonna be the Larry O'Brien. But back to Luka to close the gap on that. And D, please don't bring up Ja Morant because he went to the University of Memphis, and it might be some down there in the water that deteriorate knees down there. Ja missed plenty of games with knee problems this year. I don't want that bad juju before the game tonight. Y'all ain't right. So let's put a nice little bow on the Dallas series because I told Mike the other day this thing was far from over when they went down 0-2. I just didn't see Phoenix shooting the lights out. No NBA team can shoot like that consistently over another playoff caliber team for 7 games. They're not the 2014 Spurs, for goodness sakes. They can be beat. Now, Tasha, last week you said Suns in 5. So was that the one game that Dallas got last night?
Yeah, because you like I said, look at what Phoenix. I'm not a Phoenix fan because they come on too late, and I can tell you, be honest, I ain't watched one Phoenix game this year. I ain't watched it because they come on too late. Phoenix got CP3, Devin Booker, and DeAndre Ayton, and you got James.
What about Crowder?
You used to call me Pimp C, but now the chicks that call me James Jones is doing. I'm surprised that James Jones has done this well of a job that he's doing out there in Phoenix.
Sweet James Jones is his name.
Sweet James Jones.
The people said Mavs in 7. Are you a believer?
Yeah. I'll definitely say Mavs in 7.
A fan that refuses to believe that his team will lose.
Come on, Mavs. First of all, Chuck Cooperstein is one of the best in the business. His radio calls are phenomenal. Turn down the TV. Turn up.
He hit him in the groin.
He will turn you into a Mavs fan. Like, my man has so much passion. You can feel the spit on the microphone. He be going off when it comes to the Mavs, especially since they got Luka. So I'm hoping to get a few more games with Chuck Cooperstein. But we shall see. Now, somebody said, without hope, you have nothing. All right, Joel Osteen. We see you. Thank you for checking in, Joel. Thank you for checking in, Joel.
Well, don't the Suns still have don't the Suns have Rasheed Wallace coming off the bench too? I was like, wait,
get the
no good, Rasheed.
Get the tech. The Cam brothers. I'm gonna just say it like this: if the Cam brothers don't show up and shoot like that, Luka is gonna neutralize 2 of your other starters' points. So CP3 and Booker can combine for 50 points, and hell, Luka gonna score 47, 48. So it's all about, and I believe someone said the Bullock was big last night. He was. You need Dorian Finney-Smith to be consistent behind the arc. Him and Bullock consistent behind the arc. This thing is going to go into next weekend. We shall see, though. Now, today, we have a couple of swing games, a couple of game 3s, one in the East, one in the West. We're going to start, Tasha, with you up in the top right there. The Boston Celtics and the Milwaukee Bucks are tied at 1 game apiece. Now, we saw the defensive masterpiece that the Celtics did against the Nets in the first round. Well, I'll be damned if Giannis Antetokounmpo is having a down series, points-wise, assists-wise, rebounds-wise, and shooting percentage-wise. Is Boston on to something with this defense? Are they looking Detroit Piston-ish? Do you think they can sustain this holding the Greek Freak down to pedestrian numbers?
No, they can't sustain that because that boy can't be stopped. He can't be
I love
stopped.
me some Greek Freak.
He can't be stopped. But it's interesting because I think Boston got a little lax because they were playing a subpar Nets team that you do your defense and it's shut him
laying there with his red bottoms on.
But he was on the court. Somebody else wasn't on the court.
He's at the mall in Dubai. So keep going.
Somebody else wasn't even on the court. But you can't, and I think that kind of shocked them, when they had to go up against that and they had to make some adjustments. And I was mad because Nia Long wasn't at the game. I just knew I was going to see my beautiful mocha princess, but I didn't see her. But anyway, I digress.
51 years old, those are life goals. My goodness.
Come on, rain down on me, Lord. Give me some of that Nia Long. But
What she say? I said I wanted to wait till I was married, and it ain't no guarantee I'm gonna marry you. That's from Boys in the Hood, 1993. By the way.
Yeah, for people that don't know. Yeah, and then Trey came in.
As we proceed, Mike.
Then he got good. But no, I think Boston has made the adjustments that they needed to make.
Defensively, they look on point to me.
They will be playing in Milwaukee today at 3:30. That's Eastern time. I'm sorry. I know most of you are in Central time zone. It's going to be interesting to see how they adjust being away from the Garden. Yeah, so I don't. Oh, like I said, this was a tough one for me because I just. They're
very evenly matched. Mike, can Milwaukee get this done without Chris Middleton?
No. I got Boston on this series. I got Boston winning tonight too, or today. So
I mean, I think we all picked Boston on the series, but I was just a little torn as to what which way to go because man, this is my favorite series so far.
It can't be because there's only one series that's giving you everything you need and want out of an NBA playoff series. That is the Orange Mound Hustlers, aka the Memphis Grizzlies, versus the Golden State Warriors. We got the Young Jedis versus Darth Vader and them out there on the West Coast. You got superstars all over the court. You've got suspensions. You got flagrant foul twos. You got coaches calling teams dirty. You got players that's coming in and out for injuries. You can players get knocked out the air, knocked out the game. The series is tied 1-1. There is no Dylan Brooks tonight. Now, Mike, let me start with you. Dylan Brooks is basically Memphis's on-ball defender. It's their Marcus Smart. He was suspended in game 2. I mean, he was ejected game 2, suspended for game 3. He was the primary ball defender for Steph Curry. Did he cost the Memphis Grizzlies a game tonight with his act? And do you think that play was dirty?
I do think he cost them game 3. I was actually I was excited that Memphis took one of them, in their home, and I was like, okay, cool, you take 2 at home then, or game 3 and game 4. I think he did cost him game 3. I think game 4 though, Memphis comes back and wins and ties it back up, and this is gonna be a great game 7 series. I hope Memphis comes out on this. They have what it takes. It's just the grind at that point. Once you pass game 3, game 4, it's all about the grind. And I think this Memphis team has what it takes, and it has what Warriors are weak at, which are just some young kids that don't care who your name is or what you do, and they're just like, let's get it.
Right. Tasha, are the Memphis Grizzlies dirty a la Steve Kerr and his crying rants all throughout the week?
No, I like it. This is that 80s, this is that 90s style basketball, and I love it. This is
one time for Detroit
basketball.
Yes, that physicality.
Down and wailing on Lane Beer. This is what I like to see.
Right. Larry Bird throwing them things at Bill Laimbeer in the 86 playoffs. Hey, Larry
he had Laimbeer on the ground, baby. And
Larry had hands.
Like, this is the style of play that I love to see. I'm not one for all of these, this is a flagrant foul. Like, to me, let them play. Like,
it's because he had a fractured elbow that he knocked him out of the air and he was injured. The reason why he was suspended.
I think it was the severity, and I don't like Draymond Green as much as I hate him. I really don't think that foul should have called for him to get ejected, to get that flagrant two.
He grabbed him by the collar and made him pay $1.
Yeah, made him pay $1. He slapped him across the face, but the thing is,
that's a flagrant one. And then you grabbed him by the jersey and yanked him out the air. That's a flagrant two.
But the thing about that, he tried to cover it up. You see that when he grabbed him, he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna lead him down." And then Draymond is complaining, talking about, "Well, yeah, it's my reputation." Well, how about you stop doing that? I'm not gonna change my style of play. Well, you're gonna keep getting hit with flagrant fouls,
like Eddie Murphy said in Raw. And he kicked him in the ding ding. If you kick him ding dings, I don't want to hear you talking nothing about no damn flagrant foul.
But I liked it.
They didn't call it on CP3.
Say it again.
They didn't call it on CP3. He did the same thing.
He gets up and close and personal with it. He want to touch it with his hands.
But
and then he's like,
he's been doing that since he's been at Wake Forest.
That was 30 years ago.
So, and y'all don't see a problem with
Chris Paul is the dirtiest player. Draymond Green is the dirtiest player. I totally agree with the comment here that Steve Kerr is crying, and he has the dirtiest player on his roster. He cried in the media to get Dylan Brooks suspended. That's all that was about. Because, like Mike said, Memphis is younger. Memphis is hungrier. Memphis can run up and down that court. Klay Thompson looks like a shell of himself. He can't stay.
Again, what did I say about coming off of those injuries? That man had an Achilles, and what else did he have? An ACL before that?
And Achilles. Yeah.
It's hard to come back and play at the same level you played with those type of injuries. Look, Steph ain't even shooting them threes from the parking lot no more.
That's because he's having to box out. That's because they putting them hands on him. They putting them hands on him.
Exactly. Now I did pick Golden State to win
in 5. Are you still sticking to 5 games?
I'm gonna stick to 5. I would look. Oh my God! If Memphis wins, I think I'm a gangster walk across this ocean, do the gangster walk to Memphis. I would. I gangster walk up and down the street with my.
I gangster walk over the bridge that connects Arkansas to Memphis, since I'll be coming from the west.
I would love to see Memphis pull this out. Like I really, really would. But I just think Golden State is going to. I think they're going to stick it out because they got the pedigree.
Mike, is pedigree going to be enough to get to get Golden State out of this series, which I think is going to be a tough one?
No, I think the biggest thing is, I think what they're doing is like whining to the refs to hopefully get calls. And I actually like this series because for the most part, they've been calling it pretty equal besides, the 1 or 2 kinds. But
both teams got flagrants, both.
I'm telling you, as long as Memphis keeps playing their game and don't see names and they just see the players for who they are.
I love that.
Just keep doing it.
I love
just
that.
Keep doing it.
Don't look at the name. Just go at whoever's in front of you. I like that. Now, somebody said they called Draymond a great player and he averages 8 points a game.
He's always done that. I didn't even see the hype when he was at little brother U. I just don't like Draymond Green. You know what I say off camera. I'm not going to say
and you're not going to say that on camera because me and Mike going to zap you out of here. Don't worry, Mike. I got my hand on the dump button. Don't worry, Mike. I ain't gonna let her do us like this today because she probably won't say it.
Don't you believe it?
Right. Stop it. That's enough. I love the physicality, but let's just keep it real. What the NBA wants is Golden State versus Phoenix. What the NBA needs is Ja versus Luka. That's what they need. It's time to progress this thing to the new generation. LeBron
but they
out.
Trying to get
KD out. Kyrie out. Westbrook out. All these old players, they getting jacked up out here. Keep the young cats in. Keep the young markets in. We want to see Dallas versus Memphis in the finals.
But they won't see P3 because he's the last of the Mohicans. He's the last of the 30-plussers that ain't got no ring, that ain't sniffed no shit.
CP3 needs to get jumped.
I'm just saying. What'd you say, Mike?
I said CP3 needs to get jumped real quick. I'm just saying.
Mike did ask me what hotel was he staying at.
I want to see this new talent come. And can you guys imagine we can actually watch the game if it's Dallas and Memphis? It don't
a nice 7:00 start. Then can you imagine Golden State versus Phoenix in the Western Conference Finals? Games coming on at midnight.
I wouldn't see it at all.
Wow, it should be interesting. But to agree with both of you. I do think that Golden State will win tonight. I just think that the refs are going to have a tight whistle on Memphis. Did everything that Memphis even breathe on Steph, they're going to get a call. But make sure on Monday night, you guys are watching Game 4 when Dylan Brooks returns to the Oracle and that crowd gets after him. He loves being the villain, but he's erratic and he's a ball hog and he's an emotional shooter. I'm more willing to think that maybe Memphis loses game 4 because Dylan comes back and plays wild and out of control and wins tonight. Either way, I think it goes back to Memphis tied.
Yeah.
Now, Mike, I'm sure you'll love this, but I hate to wish injury on anybody, but they said he's going to pull a hamstring in the next couple of games and you'll be just fine. Oh, as we digress, T-Sizzle, who you shouting out this week?
Well, of course, it is Mother's Day weekend, so
It's
I'm shouting out.
Can I have my
all
cake
mothers.
Oh, sorry.
You know what? But I want to
whole
make
blues song.
speaking of like mental health, because this May is Mental Health Month. I don't know if you all have read the story about the cheerleader at Southern University.
I did. I saw Deion Sanders posted about it. I saw that.
Who committed suicide. So I would like to send a special prayer and a shout out to her mother, Mother's Day, and she's lost her child because of whatever that young lady was dealing with, that she felt like she couldn't express. So when I say people, like, that's when I tell people, y'all know I am very, I don't know how you say it when it comes to mental health and mental illness. That's why when I feel like these players are out here lying because they want the sympathy, but you have people like this young lady who were actually dealing with this. She put her suicide note on Instagram where she had said
it was chilling to read that.
She was always struggling with it, and that's why they say check on your strong friends. Like, I laugh and I joke, but sometimes I get down. Like, but that's why I like
the knees, you can hardly speak.
You know what? I'm gonna stab you. Like, I like interaction, and I like, I like doing the show because sometimes I do get bored here. I need to do other things. But so, yes, I'd like to send out a shout out to all mothers and to the young lady, Arlana Miller, to her friends, her family, her Southern family, all of them. Just keep all of them in your prayers on this Mother's Day weekend.
Mike, any shout outs?
I'll say what she said.
Right, I'm like,
so all the mothers out there.
How do I do the thing? Yeah, I'm looking right.
To all the mothers, my mom. Yeah, so we're gonna go out to breakfast.
I'm gonna see her soon.
Yeah,
I love his mama. I'm telling you. First of all, if you want to just sit down and have a good time and just talk about life, she is the person to talk to. She will have you cracking up. I love her dearly. I miss her. Shouts out to my mom, AP Culture, to all the mothers out there. Happy Mother's Day. Happy Jaw Day. Because he about to soar through that air. He gonna be like this. He about to soar through the air.
There's something wrong.
Keep Jaw in your prayers. Keep Jaw in your prayers too. Because you know they're gonna put somebody in there to hack a shack and try to take my boy out because they lost state guard. So we go. All right, with the Sage. All right, my boy with the Sage.
Mike, you gotta do it like this, Mike. You gotta do it like this. Side to side, Mike, like this.
That's for the armor. You got to put on the other stuff first, and then you put the armor on afterwards. You see? Yeah.
All right. Enjoy your mothers this weekend. Our condolences and our hearts are with you. If you don't have your mothers to celebrate this weekend, make sure you call your mama, check on your mama, love your mama. We will see y'all in 6 days and 23 hours. We are out.